I really enjoy U2. I think it's just such a smart role reversal film. And I was always touched by a Cowboy Junkie song called "Hunted," where how women feel hunted as they walk around in public in our society. Mm-hmm. And you just started with that hunt, and then U2 obviously means he gets to be hunted too. Right. And I just figured I'd let you guys, as a filmmaking team, tell us how the whole project came about.
Well, Teddy, we're a screenwriting team. So basically we write horror, and we're also married. And which is also horrifying too. But
we live it.
That's a different thing. But so he was taking a directing class at UCLA, and he had a theme, right? It was just fear. And that was all he had to work with. So he was saying, well, what do you think? And so I just thought, well, what about an everyday fear that women have? You know, and recently I'd actually had this happen to me. I was at our Westfield Mall, and I was just walking around doing my shopping, and I noticed that there was this guy that was just like kind of like following me. And I thought, that's weird. Maybe it's my magic take the escalator. He's following me. And I was like, great. I'm just going to use the bathroom. Maybe I'll lose him. So I go into the bathroom, and then I come back out. I'm like, great, he's not here. But when I emerge back into the mall, he's waiting right outside the doors, you know, and I'm like, all right, he's definitely following me. And so, you know, I wasn't worried or anything, but I did feel that, you know, that thing in my stomach that I get when you're walking around and you know that this guy's following you. So I thought, what about that? It's like something simple, an everyday fear, an everyday, like, you're just going about your own business, just doing your thing, and then you notice that someone is just, you know, got their eye on you. So.
And it can't really be a good thing for a stranger to follow you for a prolonged period of time.
No.
My tips for all the young men out there. And that was on the UCLA campus, it looked like, right?
Yeah, one of the benefits of taking classes at UCLA is that you can get a student film permit. So we shot 2 films actually on the UCLA campus. It's cheap, but it's an amazing campus. It turns out though that I've shown this to friends of mine who went to UCLA, like, you know, when they were doing undergraduate, and they said every film is shot in that sculpture garden. So yeah, but it's great because you do have some limits as to what you can show and where you can go, but it's such a great set, you know, all over the campus.
Yeah, very beautiful campus. Mm-hmm. Here, let me open it up to the audience. Anyone have there we go.
Well, just as far as the location, did they let you like close it off to where like you couldn't have students in that area? Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they don't let you close it off. You know, the students know that there's filming going on all the time, and it's usually other students doing the filming. So we did have some moments where, right in the middle, when we're setting up the shot where we first see the new hunter, the woman with the red scarf, suddenly there was a frisbee football game that had planned to play right there, and they were meeting by that sculpture. So they all kind of crowd in, and they have no idea what's going on, and we just ask them to leave. So, but you have to deal with. Luckily, we shot during summer break, so it's pretty empty.
Yeah, it did look really deserted. It worked.
Yeah. We actually also shot on another short film in the botanical garden, which is a great place to shoot because no one knows about it. But it's a great place to visit too. Like, it's a beautiful garden on the campus. It's totally free to the whole city. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to go and hang out.
Anybody?
I just want to say I thought what was so great about it is that you just always felt the tension, and you always felt the suspense, and you didn't quite know what was going to happen. And then I also liked the mystery of the sound, because I didn't know what that was, and then it was really interesting to see what that was, and the kind of weird noise that it made. And I was just curious, did you shoot that handheld, Steadicam, or dolly?
Yeah, thank you, by the way, for your nice comments. So this was kind of an experiment. We shot that. I shot it with an iPhone, and it was an experiment that failed. I would never do it again. Only because, I mean, I know that Steven Soderbergh has shot 2 movies now with an iPhone, and it was right for the subject matter. But if I don't, I shot it myself. I was the only crew member that night, and it's just very difficult to see what you're getting on that tiny little screen. But there's a lot of great equipment that you can get with for an iPhone now. There's a company called Moment that makes these beautiful lenses. So we had an anamorphic lens for that, which it elevates the cinematic quality of it, and a gimbal, which works really well. But it's really tough to be the cameraman and direct your actors and see what's going on at the same time.
Well, it didn't, I don't know what I could compare it to, but it didn't look like an iPhone.
No, that's good.
It looked like a handheld camera that you were, following, but it was really steady, so then I was unclear as to what.
Yeah, that's the gimbal. It's like $150 piece of equipment, and it really works well. Although, just for the technical stuff, if you move too fast and you go, you can see the handle of the gimbal, so you have to be really careful.
It is surprising they used an iPhone. I think it definitely does not show. No one involved in the festival had a clue.
That's
so,
good.
So yeah, we didn't. As far as we know, no. That's the only film shot on that.
Yeah, I should say that I would not hesitate to use an iPhone again in the daytime, but at night the lighting was really, really rough. So this is why it's so dark. And I really like in filmmaking. I love the visual aspect of it and the beauty of it, and I wasn't able to capture that because there's such a low light conditions with an iPhone. So
Yeah,
I can't do it.
yeah, for sure. Thought it's on the other hand, right there.
So other than the lighting, what did you learn about using the iPhone for filming that you would do if you did one again? Like, what did you learn from this process? It looked great, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Most of it's tiny little technical things. The good news is that there are a lot of YouTube videos by iPhone filmmakers, with their suggestions on what kind of lenses you should use and what to look out for. But the number one thing that I learned from this is the lens is everything. You don't have to use an anamorphic. Obviously, they have some other cinematic lenses, but they really work well with the iPhones, and it elevates the picture just 1,000 times. But the great thing about an iPhone that you're not having to deal with when you're dealing with the camera is that it's the autofocus. Just like with emergence, that takes care of so much. You don't have to worry about that so much. I had more problems with our second film, which we had a professional DP on. We had more problems with focus with a professional DP and a cameraman than we did with ours and me running around with it.
Thanks.
Any more? There we go.
Actually, just again a question about the shooting of it. Do you put a lens on you attach a lens onto that?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that you have to buy a case, their
Yeah.
case,
Okay.
and then you can attach a lens to that. And then if you're using a gimbal, you have to get some weights with it because the anamorphic lens or any lens, they're so heavy that suddenly the whole thing shifts to the side, and you need a weight set to go with the gimbal. The gimbal is called. I did a lot of research on gimbals, and this one's, in case anybody wants to get one, this company called Movi MOVI, and their gimbals are really nice and they do great work.
Yeah, I have a question, getting away from the iPhone questions. But you mentioned that you guys are a screenwriting team and this movie doesn't have much talking in it. So I'm just curious, what that process is in terms of, how do you write a screenplay for something without any dialogue? Did you write, you probably both were maybe familiar with the space, or, did you kind of write it in the space, or
Do you want to talk about
how
that?
does that happen?
No, because it was more of a visual thing.
Yeah.
That's how it changed.
Yeah, so and the truth is we didn't know the space well when
Okay.
we wrote it. So the truth is that it all comes down to story for us anyway. We love writing dialogue. It's my favorite thing to write. And we knew that we couldn't have it that was the assignment, no dialogue.
No dialogue.
Um,
So that was the challenge.
Yeah, so that was the challenge.
That was
going.
part of the assignment of the class,
Exactly.
of the fear project.
Yes, and it was everybody has a different emotion, and the teacher, the professor knows that we're horror screenwriters, so she made it easy on us by picking fear. But after we wrote it, Then I spent 4 hours there by myself, just kind of running around and seeing where we could shoot. And then the night we did it, everything went wrong. We couldn't shoot in any of those spots because the lighting was all wrong. And so on the fly, we figured out a whole bunch of new options. And after that, the thing we did is all dialogue. It's like a comedy. It's all dialogue. So that was easier.
And how long was the script? Was it
I think it's 3.5, 4 pages.
3.5, 4 pages?
Yeah, it's like 6.5 minutes on screen.
Yeah, so you actually had a lot you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, we did it in 6 hours, so it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it always went over what everything we write goes over. Like 160-page script is our first draft for everything, so.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, anybody
I
else?
just want to say I love the poster too.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, I especially, but I think both of us have a love of vintage posters, and
Yeah.
we found a guy who does a lot of them, and I just told him I wanted to do something that was very Saul Bass-like. So that's what we got.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much.
No,
And-
thanks for having me, man.